everyone. Thank you for joining. It's 9. We need to start. Okay, and I will let people in once they will connect. Thank you very much for joining the event today. Okay, I'm interrupted a bit, but no problem. Okay, so good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for joining the event today. We appreciate your participation and hopefully also your interventions during the event. I have some house rules that I want to show you in the beginning, just to, okay, let me see if this works. Okay, so just for you to know, the event will be live streamed on YouTube on the Wasteless Project YouTube channel. During the presentations, I would like to keep your microphone and camera off. And during the Q&A session and the discussions, if you want to say something, if you want to ask a question or make a comment, please raise your hand and I will give you the time to speak, or write in the chat and then I will read aloud the question or the comment that you have. And with this, okay, I'm letting people in. Thank you very much. And then according to the agenda, we start now with the opening from Attila Kunsabo. So Attila, please.
Thank you very much, Luminita. Good morning and welcome. My name is Attila Kunsabo and I am from the University of Veterinary Medicine Budapest, which is a partner of the Wasteless Project. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to this public event of the Horizon Project Wasteless, titled Value Proposition, Technology Adoption, and Implementation of Food Loss and Waste Measurement Tools. The Wasteless Project aims to develop and test a diverse set of innovative tools and methodologies for the measurement and monitoring of food loss and waste. We follow a bottom-up approach, having defined a harmonized methodological framework. The project also sets the standards for testing, evaluating data quality, and integration from other initiatives, and developing policy and business recommendations. All of these elements contribute to building a practical decision support toolbox. So today's event focuses on presenting the food waste measurement tools we developed and also the case studies we conducted during the project. We will see 5 different food waste measurement tools in actions, namely an electronic registry supported by a blockchain system, followed by a computer vision-based image analysis. We will also get insights about an AI-driven approach for food waste measurement. And after, we will see the results of a surplus measurement and management tool. And before closing the event, we will present an automatic system for household food waste assessment. All the presentations will be given by Professor Anna Novodebaros, our project coordinator. And after each session, you will have the opportunity to ask questions and participate in a Slido poll, where we look forward to collecting your valuable feedback. I would like to thank especially the European Commission's DG Santé, EU Platform on Food Losses and Food Waste, whose support helped us promote this event and bring so many of you here today. So it's truly great to see such a large and engaged audience. I hope, and on behalf of the Wasteless Project, we hope that you will enjoy this event. And now I would like to pass the word to Professor Anna Novodebaros, or first back to Luminita, who could introduce the first session.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, Attila. According to the agenda, we will start the first session, which will be moderated by Dr. Maurizio Notarfonso, Hi, Maurizio.
Hello.
Thank you very much for being here. So, Dr. Maurizio Notarfonso is the head of Laboratory of Innovation of Agri-Food Supply Chains at ENEA, the Italian National Agency for New Technology, Energy, and Sustainable Economic Development. Maurizio, please.
Thank you, Luminita. Good morning, everybody. I am happy to be here. Thank you for the invitation. It's important to start with this first presentation. You can see the full program is devoted to present the main outputs and tools produced by the Wasteless Horizon Europe project. And you can see as a fil rouge of the tools, the digitalization part of all these tools. So we are now starting with the first tool covering a very important and ambitious challenge also for the agri-food supply chain operators. I mean the authenticity. So the first tool, it's about an open access blockchain tool. It is based on food loss and waste standards and protocols. And as you can see from the presentation, will demonstrate, keep track on the degrees of the operator's virtuosity to prevent and reduce food loss and waste, but in particular, how they have been able to collect and store data, and how also data have been stored. You know very well that authenticity, it's a factor that will and can influence a lot the competitiveness of the operators, in particular when products come from the local market, abroad, and so on. So it will be very interesting to know these achievements, and I would like to introduce and give the floor to Professor Anna Novobarros from the UTAD coordinating team, associated professor in chemistry. So Anna, the floor is yours, and then we will open the discussion.
Thank you so much, Mauricio. Welcome, good morning, everyone. In the name of the Wasteless Project, I would like to acknowledge everyone to be present in this section, so I'll try to share my screen. Okay, when it's ready, please let me know.
Yes, we see.
It is in a PowerPoint mode. Yes, in presentation mode.
Now perfect.
So I will start. So good morning, everyone. The first tool that I'm going to present you, it's really the electronic registry supported by blockchain system. And in this presentation, I will try to explain you how the blockchain can reduce the food waste. And in fact, we could observe during this project that blockchain not only helps to reduce the food waste, but it also provides a transparent real-time data on product origin, expiration dates, and storage conditions. In fact, what we can observe is that we can enable better inventory management and faster response to spoilage risks. What is a blockchain? In the right side of your slide, you can see that the blockchain is a part of a distributed ledger technologies, and that it's going to storage transitions in interconnected blocks in a chain. This is really important because we cannot broke the chain, because if we do that, the technology, it's not going to be able for the validation of the data. So the blockchain in food industry, just like Maurizio told, it's really important not only for the traceability and authenticity, but also for automation, for customer information, digital data fingerprint, production, logistic and storage, and also for safety. So the blockchain can be divided into two kinds of blockchain. The public blockchain, and you can observe by the figures that the public blockchain is a blockchain network where anyone Anyone can participate, read data, perform transactions, and all the people that are connected can contribute to the verification of the blockchain. So it is a decentralized structure. In the case of the private blockchain, in the right figure, we can see that this is a blockchain that only a person that are permitted to be interconnected and managed, and it is controlled by a single entity or a small group of authorized entities. When we observe the principles from the blockchain related to the food loss and waste, we can make the interpretation that this implementation in different food supply chains implies distinct between physical flow, digital flow, and blockchain network. The physical flow or physical fluxes are related with food products. The digital flux are related to digitalization of the documents, and the blockchain flux or network is the notarization of digital documents. So, in fact, the addition of the blockchain fluxes that we can observe in this figure increases not only the security, but also the transparency between food business operators and stakeholders, and also with the consumers. So, we can say that we can increase and we can have higher degree of trust between all the parties. It means that we can have higher degree of trust between stakeholders, operators, consumers, and all the parties that are involved. So the blockchain involves traditional it has involved a traditional contract, and nowadays it involves a smart contract, and this is just a self-executing agreement that is recorded on the blockchain, and it automates and makes binding the execution in the agreement between two or more parties. So it's just like a contract that the parts are going to be involved for the good execution of this tool. The blockchain notarization is the process that uses the blockchain technology that is going to create a secure and verifiable record of the documents that exist and states, and this is really important, state at a specific point in time. So it is going to involve creating a digital fingerprint of the documents that are digitalized and storing it in the blockchain. So this process is a process that provides evidence that the document that exists and that time and hasn't been altered afterwards. That's why I told you here that the chain cannot be broken, okay? So the survey of the blockchain registry for the Wasteless project, it has been developed by the WISE team, and we tried with development of this tool to have a tool that can be fast and simple edition, ready for modifications, that is aligned with European Union regulation, can improve even the European Union statistical system, and can allow the certification of the information. So this tool, the blockchain registry, has been developed and applied for these case studies for the food industry, where the end users were the fruit and veggies, pasta, olive oil, tomato and fruit, bakery, curried meat and dairy, canned and vegetables. For the households and the end users or the consumers, retailers with the end users, local and big supermarkets, and food services where the end users were school and workplace canteens or catering. So when we talk about this methodology that has been developed by WISE, in fact, the proof of concept, just to see the time that I have, the proof of the concept, it's necessary to verify the capability of the blockchain to account the food waste and can provide solutions for prevention and reduction of the waste. So it was decided to collect the information and upload it in the blockchain by means of the survey that is here, that was drafted in accordance to the previous regulatory requirements and standards that already were published. Here, just to explain you the main topics of the survey of the blockchain registry, for example, actor type, privacy policy, whole food and side stream outputs, for example, waste food use hierarchy, upcycling, recycling, recovery, disposal, document upload, and everything that is here in the blockchain registry. For the validation of this survey in the Wasteless project, its response to the survey has generated a PDF, and the results, the all results were put it it was necessary to be in a file.ots, and it will be inserted in the Bitcoin blockchain. I move on for a
You can download
video.
the attached PDF documents and verify the data entered during the survey completion. The PDF file contains the same information as the online survey. It also generates a graph detailing the percentages related to the intended use of the products and side streams using a graduated and colored Lansing scale based on the starting input. To verify the legitimate presence of a submission on the blockchain, click on a on-chain submission. You can check the existence of the block from the Blockchain Explorer website and verify the filing date against the date indicated in the blockchain. To do this, simply download the PDF file of the submission and the OTS attestation file. As an additional check, you can use the Open Timestamps website, opentimestamps.org. In the Verify section, upload the OTS attestation file in the first field and the PDF of the submission with any attachments in the second field. If the verification is successful, it confirms that the submission has not been tampered with and matches the one filled in by the user. For further information on completing the survey and the functionality of the Wasteless blockchain, please refer to the dedicated manual. Thank you for your attention.
So it was just a little video to show you. The pilot launch, it was in Italy, and the first experiments using the Wasteless blockchain have begun in Italy, led by Fedalimentaria, and it was a really important mark of the critical steps in the real world, testing the blockchain to reduce food waste throughout traceability, classification, and compliance. And it has been applied in milk and aquaculture food supply chains, and this tool has demonstrated that we can have a detailed classification, geographical identification, and regulatory compliance enhance the accuracy of the food waste quantification. It has been also applied for other services, just like I told in the beginning of my presentation, and the general results show a good capability from the primary production activities from industry, food services, and retailers that have interviewed to avoid food waste, but we could also observe that due different considerations about what is food waste, we got some uncertainties during this application. Just to finish my presentation, because I think this is really important, just to show you a comparison in the information that we have obtained in this tool and the ones that have been obtained in the Commission Delegated Decision or JRC. So I'm going to make a mistake, for example, to that we can change the time period reporting or disaggregated food categories and geographical generation with more details. Also, we can get, for example, a monetary value. We can also display with this blockchain tool. Thank you for your attention and sorry for surpassing my time.
Thank you very much, Professor Baros, for the presentation, also for the details presented. Now we have a little bit more time to see if people online would like to raise some hands, to raise question, or to share thoughts and comments also via chat. In the meantime, I can just share with you, Anna, some comments, because you know also the participation also in this early stage of definition of the tools from the private operators is and will be very important, essential for the best success of the implementation of the tools. So I think that it will be important to try to test more and more in several different subsector of the production chain, because you know food is very fragmented, very differentiated in terms of products and processes. All the processes have different impacts, and all the production have also different performance in generating or not food and loss waste. So it will be nice to enlarge the possibility of tests. And I see that also you did a great job in also give a final say output to deliver to the companies final outputs to keep track of their engagement if they will did fully this exercise. So it will be important also for companies to get something to certify, to show to their consumers or B2B or B2C what they did in this aim. So I think you are on the good track also for the even beyond the end of wasteless, when the outputs will be ready at disposal for operators after the end of the project funding.
Yes.
I don't know if in chat there is somebody who want to
No,
pose
we
question.
have
Okay.
no, Maurizio, there is nothing in the chat. So please, if someone wants to contribute, to ask a question or make a comment, you can raise your hand. Or if not, we can go to the Slido. And then we will ask to contribute by answering the questions in the Slido.
Okay.
So good morning to everyone. I'm going to share my screen. And are you seeing my screen?
Yes.
And let's start Slido session. So please scan the QR code or go to slido.com and write the code. We really appreciate your engagement in this session. I will move on. You still have the QR code at your left side and the slido.com and the code. And please, the first question is, how would you rate the innovation level of this tool? From 1, that is similar to existing conventional tools, to 5, that goes beyond the state of the art. Okay, I will wait because I know that people are trying to get into the Slido. Thanks to the people that already answer and are engaging. This is really important.
Just Sophia, I don't have any idea how to rate it. So just
You don't have any idea of what? Sorry?
no, just I'm just figuring out how to rate it. Just
Yeah, take your time. I will wait, but not much because we have 7 questions.
I think you need to, if you have connected to the Slido, then you need to wait until the question will appear on your screen. And then you can press the number of stars that you consider appropriate for the innovation level of this tool.
So 26 people, 27. I'm seeing that still people are answering to this question. Because if I move to the other question, people
yeah,
will.
just how can I find this Paul on the Slido? Because it's the first time
You
I'm
need to scan the QR code that you have in your left side, or go to slido.com and put
okay.
if you scan the QR code, you go there immediately.
If not, you need to put the code that you see on the screen.
Okay. Put the code on the screen, just okay.
Meanwhile, we still have people answering. That is good.
Yes. In the meantime, Sophia, we can say that half of the participant online present people responded, and the majority rated the good appreciation in terms of degree of innovation the tool, because it got from 3 to 4, so it means that it was appreciated the rate of innovation.
Okay, I will move on now to the next question because there are no answers coming, raising more.
Just I'm going to put my answering
Start.
just
Okay, did you get it, Alireza?
not yet. Just let me just find it.
So we go to the next question now.
Okay.
So which actors could benefit the most by applying this tool? You have your choice.
And this is a multiple choice. You can select
Yes.
more than one answer.
More than one, yes. I have 24. I will wait for the 29, 30 with Alireza, I hope.
Just I'm still struggling just to find it.
Okay, 29 already answered. I think there's no more engaged people in our Slido, so I will move to the next question. And this one will take some time for you to write your answer, to think on what would be the main barriers to implement this tool in its target sectors.
Just even I cannot find it even on Slido using 2488 425.
I'm sorry, and Alireza, you need to.
We will
Right.
try to fix it during the break, Alireza.
Okay.
There are so many replies. It's
Exactly.
interesting. I can just say my answers since I am part of this very nice session. I think that for companies and operators along the supply chain, the challenge is to collect and report and have track of the primary data they are generating, because blockchain is based on real data. So one thing is to have to use benchmarks, secondary data. One thing is to have primary data directly connected to the operation of the behind the product and the processes. So it's for some operator it's is quite confident. For others, there is still a lot of work to do to collect data and to be able to know which data they have to collect. But for the confidentiality, I think that the blockchain, one of the blockchain objectives is to ensure confidentiality. So I think it's not really a big challenge, because one of the purpose is to have data stored safely, also in terms of confidentiality. Okay, I can stop here my comment.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mauricio. Two participants typing. I don't know if they are the same that already have answered. I think so. So we have 25 that engage in this question. So I will move on to the next question. Okay, thank you very much. If I can. Okay, so now what type of support would be most useful for the target users to implement this tool? You have some options, multiple choice. You can choose more than one.
Also in this case, I see a clear coherence between the most favorite option, the training capacity building, with one of the last comments in the previous question about needs of skills. So it's clear that we should be able to, operators should be able to know how to use, how to report this, also these tools, because they have the same purposes, but also different functionalities. So it's clear that training is essential.
Yeah, but I think it's also IT support is very important. Okay, we have 30 engaged now. Thank you very
Yes.
much. So I will move 31, but I will move to the other question. So, and how would you rate the scalability of this tool within its target sector? From 1 not scalable at all to 5 easily scalable. Okay, we have 10. Six. Can't we have the 31 before?
In any
Okay.
case, the result is clear. A tool like that, it's affordable in terms of scalability, but it's clear because it is not a really
But it's not
ITRL.
easy.
Yes, it's affordable. Let's say for the respondent, it's an affordable tool to have a scale up and an adaptation to the real case, real condition of the companies, of course, of the operators.
Okay, so I will move on to the next question. Is there in any other parts of the food supply chain where do you see this tool being applicable? Well, here it will be only will have the households that is missing, because that was already applicable on food services. You have also the option no other than the ones in the Wasteless project. And we went through the processing and manufacturing, retail and other food distribution, food services, but we didn't apply it in households. But I think we can also take from here that this is really important for food services. Okay, no more is 23 people. Okay, I will move on to the next question. So what improvements or adaptations would you suggest for this tool? Information to be used, do you mean training? It's not very clear for me. You can write more than one
Yes, I
answer
think
if you need.
training, yes. It's interesting also the reply, the ability to be customized, which is uh, very good, very important also for operators to have a customized tool for their specific conditions.
More clearly argue why specifically blockchain is needed.
And also the question about the reply, so more cooperation with food business operator needs the idea to have a common use of the blockchain information as a dialogue between the different pieces of the chain. So a lot of impressions from the respondents.
Oh, it seems okay. One participant typing. So I think we have no more people typing. I will move on to the next question. That one was the last one. So I have finished the Slido session. Thank you very much for your engagement.
Okay, I will take over, Maurizio, because we are a bit over the time for
Keep in
this talk.
touch.
Thank you.
Good luck for the
Yes.
project and see you for the end of the project, I hope.
Thank you very much, Maurizio, for moderating this session. And now we will go to the next tool, session 2, which will be moderated by Sofia Raish, project manager at Iseki Food Association and expert in valorization of byproducts in the food industry. Sofia, please. And just a small remark, if you still have some comments or questions related to the previous tool, please write it in the chat and we will try to answer at the end.
Okay, so now we are starting session 2. That is the computer vision-based image analysis. And similar as in the previous session, the tool will be presented by Professor Ana Barros, coordinator of Wasteless Project, followed by 10 minutes of discussion. Hope you will engage more than before. And a Slido session, exactly the same questions, but related to these two. Please, Anna, the screen is yours.
Okay, thank you. Can you see my screen? It's okay?
Yes, sorry, I was
Yes?
muted. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So the next tool, it's about the computer-based image analysis. So just making a brief introduction about this tool, when we talk about computer-based image analysis, we can make the division between imaging technologies in food industry and computer vision systems. When we talk about imaging technologies in food industry, they are enable objective, fast and consistent quality inspections, and they are commonly used not only for grading and quality classification, but also for example, defect detection or process control. When we talk about computer vision systems, they are based on image processing algorithms and they allow the access visual attributes during food processing. And I show you some cases, for example, shape and size, baking level and porosity, overall appearance, and detection of foreign objects in bulk foods. In the case of the Wasteless project, we have developed the tool that makes the connection between these two kind of methodologies. So we have used the computer vision-based image analysis, and the main objective is the estimation of food waste proportion. What is the methodology that is associated to this tool is the calculation of the percentage of color that changes on the surface of the tested food items. And in fact, we can observe, and we are going to observe, that change in color indicates decay. So here we have one kind of example about what happens when we have this kind of fruit. 0% of damage, 50% and 100%. Here we have the camera that it's going to take the pictures and it's going to make the pixelization of the pictures, and we can make the analysis in the computer and we can have the calculation from the waste percentage in function of the decay percentage. I'm going to show you a video from the partners that have prepared this tool, and this is very well explained there, and I will move on after. So here we have two examples of the kind of information that we can get from these tools. These are images from apples, and you can see in the left image that we have apples, and that after taking the pictures, we can really make the you can see a lot of points here. They are the different pixelization of the figures, and you have the percentage of decay in function of the percentage of wastes. And it allows us, after this first analysis, make not only this decay percentage in function of the percentage of waste, but also make the prediction of waste. If you see this picture of this apple, you can observe here surrounding brown color, but it's not very perceptible. But when we make the computer-based analysis, you can see that this all part is damaged, and we can also see here that it's also damaged, but we cannot observe it. And we can make the actual waste percentage and the prediction waste percentage by the interpolation of this calibration curve. So here I present you some examples of photographs that have been taken by Scientiae, that it's one of our partners in the Wasteless project, that it's in Spain, and they are different pieces of fruits in various stages of the composition, in this case of peach, and you can observe that they are in different stages of decomposition. And not only the photos from the fruit pieces were taken, but also they were cut in the lab and they were weighted. And both the entire piece and the composite part. And you can observe here that we can enable the tool developer, that is a setup, to make the correlation from the image analysis with the actual weight. And these are data from examples of photos that and weighting that have been carried out with orange. So this tool has been applied for peach, tomato, mandarin, lemon, apple, pear, orange, and lettuce. And you can see that we have the number of images that have been collected in the tests and the decay percentage of the collected data. And then in the last column from the right side, you can see the correlation between actual waste and predicted waste. And we can make the correlation between actual and predicted waste percentage for all fruits and vegetables were very high, as you can observe from the R that has been obtained. And this tool shows the proof of concept of estimation waste percentage of the fruit and vegetable from this its image. Just to see the time, so I will move on for the video that has been prepared from Exectep explaining this tool.
Significant portion of household food waste is attributed to fruits and vegetables, which often go unused or spoiled before they are consumed. Due to factors such as overbuying, improper storage, and neglect, these perishable items frequently end up being discarded. Many households tend to purchase more fruits and vegetables than they can consume in a timely manner, leading to a surplus that eventually spoils. Despite efforts to preserve them, these perishable items still undergo color changes. The computer-based image analysis is a tool that has been developed by Hacettepe University as partner of the Wasteless project. This tool relies on imaging of this color change due to decay with a camera and analyzing the image through the segmentation method using computer-based techniques. After segmentation, the ratio of decayed area to the total area of the fruit or vegetable is correlated with the percentage of waste by weight. For example, in the case of a decayed lemon, a 98% decay area obtained from image analysis corresponds to 80% of waste weight. Another example, a 60% decay area indicates to 30% waste weight according to this correlation graph. In a word, thanks to this tool, the waste of fruit and vegetables at household level can be quantified by computer-based image analysis of photos taken from different angles.
So we can see that, in this tool we can make the prediction about the waste that we can have with fruits and vegetables, and as it was very well explained in this video, the fruits and vegetables are not only perceptible matrices, but they are the consumer buys much more than what is going to eat. So it has a very high degree of degradation. So it's a prediction tool to see the correlation between the two waste that we can have in these kinds of matrices. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Anna. We are some minutes delayed, but I think it was because of the first session, not because of the time you took to the presentation. I think I saw there the tools developers on the audience. I will start, there's no questions in the chat now, but please do your questions, and I will start with my first question. This tool seems to be in a very low TRL, since is, from what I understood, is just building a model between color and decay of the fruit with the percentage of waste generated. And I would like to ask to the two developers, how do you see the use of this model in future applications useful for measuring the food waste in households, or even to the households themselves? What I mean is, like, how is the real benefit for the food waste measurement and to the households?
So, Urs from Hatzetep, our partner in the Wasteless project, you can turn on your microphone if you want to answer this question or make your comment.
Just can I talk?
Just a minute, Alireza, because Urs wanted to answer.
Yes,
Hello,
just
everyone.
Hello, Urs.
First of all, thank you for the nice presentation, Anna. You actually really, explained very well our tool. And I would just like to make a comment on that, because it starts with an idea. If we can really quantify, if we can really measure the waste, just taking from a photo of a fruit and vegetable. So within this project, yes, we started very low for TRL, and we try to push this TRL a little bit further and show that we really could use, at least for certain fruits and vegetables, this computer vision based image analysis to quantify at household, because it's really challenging if it comes to the household, because it really depends on the consumer itself. It happens at house, and it really, the consumer should measure it. But in our case, we are kind of excluding the consumer, and we are putting a camera, for example, into the fridge, and it automatically detects and measures, and ultimately in later stages of the tool development, not within this project, but maybe later, it could alert the consumer that this lemon, for example, from the case of the video, it's going to be bad soon, so it should be used. So in the end, ultimately, the goal is the minimization of the food waste at household level. But first, of course, we need to measure it. And in this case, yes, we started on the low TRL level, but we are on the way making it more useful in the future, independent of the consumer, just putting a camera and with an algorithm, just calculating the percentage of the decay area and predicting the real waste in the real world.
Okay, so it's more like a preventing tool as
Yeah.
the
Yes.
immediately application, but you still need to go think more on how can we use these for, well, we know that is generating the food waste that they have
Yes.
there, but how we going to, how they will report this food waste, the households. So there is
Yes.
something here that I think it's missing, but
Okay.
it's a more correct, accurate measure of the waste. I also noticed that you have some lower correlations with some it was lettuce, I think. So do you know, you probably know why is that, and that is a problem? There is some vegetables and fruits that you cannot apply, or you think you can improve your tool to go through all the fruits and vegetables?
Yeah, okay. Maybe I can just start with this limitation of the tool. For example, for the bulk fruits and vegetables, like you have a cup of blueberries or you have a cup of strawberry, and if it starts getting rotten in the middle of the cup, you cannot see it. And if you cannot see it, you cannot detect it. So it really depends on the visualization of the rotten part of the fruit. That's why in some in some parts, for example, in the lettuce, you know, the ready-to-eat lettuce, the correlation was low, as you mentioned. And this is because, you know, you have a bag of lettuce, which is cleaned and chopped, but there are, it seems, and it has a kind of thickness, you know, the bag has amount of lettuce, but on the top, you take a picture from the top, and there's no rotten area or nothing. It seems fine, but there's also some part underneath of this nice lettuce. So this could be a limitation, but this could be also prevented in a later area if it could be also combined with the AI, for example. You know, the technology also develops within this area. So if we can really put effort to use the AI classification or AI decision to this tool, it can also, you know, not detect, but it can predict that there's also something underneath this nice lettuce, for example.
We still don't have any answer in the chat, just the comment that is confirming what you are saying. We are on time, but I have just the last question from my side. It's like, because this tool is designed for the fridges, but I think probably the implementation will be more than the use of the model. As you have said, it will require fridge adaptations to the use of these cameras, AI digital tools, and properly assess the information to the consumer. And my question is, did the tools developers run any economic study to assess the costs and feasibility of the implementation of this tool?
Actually, no, but I could confidently say that these cameras, I can also answer the questions on the chat in this context. The cameras are really cheap, like $1 or $2 or thing. Like, don't think that we are using the ones that we have a high level at our home, like a SLR machine or something. No, there's just a very small cameras available. So if it can be implemented not only from one side, from the fridge, like on the, I don't know, on the lid of the fridge, but also can be from the bottom of the shell and top of the shell from different angles. And this could be also another evaluation from which angle that can be detected, and which angle really gives the prediction, the correct prediction. So normally the fruit degrades in the area contact with the surface is right, a command from the chat, but we didn't do any cost, but we know that the camera is very low. The technology itself is developed by us. Of course, it has, I mean, there's no cost for us right now, but the implementation, is just putting some cameras some places around the fridge.
So thank you very much for your answers. There's something now in the chat, but I think we need to move on because we are some minutes late and we need to go to the Slido session. The same as we did.
Maybe, sorry, Sofia, maybe Boris can answer in the chat for the questions.
Yes, I will. Thank you, Anna.
Okay.
Thank you, Anna. And here, this is a different code and a different Slido. So you need to scan the QR code again, or go to the slido.com and put this different code, 3766544. You still have this QR code in your left side, and the information of the code there. And please, how would you rate the innovation level of this tool? From 1, similar to existing conventional tools, to 5, goes behind the state of the art. And please, we really thank for your engagement in these Slido polls. They are really important for us, to our project, and for the development of these tools in the improvements. I'm counting on the 30 participants before. So we have 24. Not think that we have more. 25. And I will move on to the next question. So which actors could benefit the most by applying this tool? And you have many options and you have multiple choice. You can choose more than one. I'm at least waiting for the 25 engaged participants. Yes, consumers, that was for what it was built for. But I think, yes, food business operators also can have a benefit on this. So 26 participants. So I will move on to the next question. What would be the main barriers to implement this tool in its target sectors? And I will give you a bit more time to answer to this question because it's a written question. Answer. I'm not understanding very well this one of fruits and vegetables. Maybe the nature of the fruits and vegetables. Can you understand like this? Okay, we are having a lot of ideas here for the main barriers, but I still have 21, 22. Hope the 26 participants engage in our Slido pool. Okay, I still have 3 participants typing, but 22. Any of these are from the 26? Okay, we'll wait for this participant and I will move on. So I'll move on now. Next question, what type of support would be most useful for the target users to implement this tool? You have multiple choice here. Funding starting to raise up. Nineteen participants. What happened to our other? Okay. I think we have here training of capacity building and funding on the top. 23. So I will move on to the next question. How would you rate the scalability of this tool within its target sector? From 1, not scalable at all, to 5, easily scalable. It's not easily scalable for sure. It's more close to difficult to be scalable. Okay, so we have 24 participants answered. Move on. Is there any other part of the food supply chain other than the households? Where do you see these two being applicable? Primary production and retailers. I agree. Okay. What happened to the other 2-3 participants? But I will not wait. I will move on. And what improvements or adaptations would you suggest for this tool? And I will give you a little bit more time. Okay, we have 11 participants engaged, but I'm seeing that the answers are repeating. So I think I will move on.
I think this is the last question, Sophia. So maybe you
Yeah.
can leave the
And we are on
Slido
time.
running. And then you can stop sharing your screen. You can leave this running for people to have the time to answer.
Okay.
And I think this session came to an end. And now I will share again my screen and say that we are at the end of session 2, and now we are having a break for you to have time to drink a coffee or some water. And we wait you all back at 10 and 20 minutes. So it's 15 minutes time to have a break and then come back for the second part of the event. Okay, so it's 10 and 20 minutes. I think it's time to start with the second part of the event. And I give the floor to Laura, Laura Garcia Herrero. Hi, Laura. Thank you for accepting to join and to be the moderator of this session. She's a scientific policy officer and a researcher at the European Commission and an expert in sustainability, both in the private and the public sector. So, Laura, please. No, we don't hear you. We hear like a background noise, but I think it's because of the headphones. No, I think when you unplugged the headphones, we could hear something. So maybe if you can try without the headphones.
Is this better?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Perfect. Well, everybody will hear me as well here at the office, but they will enjoy, I believe. So thank you very much for having me here. I'm very glad to be moderating this session about a AI-based data-driven approach for food waste measurement. Professor Anna Novo is going to introduce this tool, which the main goal is to identify methods to reduce fresh food waste, transforming this reduction into enhanced business efficiency. And we think that also will motivate retailers to engage more effectively with the sector. So I'm just curious to know more about this. And please, I'm going to leave the floor to Ana Novovaros, and everybody pay attention and raise any question that you may have in order to, well, ask for clarification on or how to improve this tool or which are the other potential uses of that. So thanks, and leave you the floor to Anna.
Thank you, Laura. I will share my screen. Is it okay?
Yeah, it's not in presentation mode, but we can see it.
It's not?
Yeah, now it's okay.
Yes, so I will start. Thank you. So the next tool that I'm going to present is the artificial intelligence driven approach for food waste measurement. So all of us nowadays, we are used with artificial intelligence in all the things that we manage in our life. In the case of waste management, this is really important, not only for the analysis, collection, transportation of the waste management, but also for recovery and recycle. In fact, this kind of tool can affect the change in waste distribution, change in infection rate of people, change in disposal rate, timing or frequency. It can affect also the waste composition, change the safety and infection risk, and change in waste amount. This tool has been developed particularly for one case study that is from retailers, and it was particularly developed for local supermarkets. I must say at this moment that we have some problems with the implementation of this tool because we have poor response from the supermarkets, and the key aspect for that is in general lack of trust in privacy protection due to data sharing. So we have a lack of perceived benefits from sharing data of food waste, and it has already been identified with respect of competitive and reputational associated with data sharing. In some cases, we got the expressive concerns about sharing monetary data and confidentiality of the information involved, ultimately withdrawing from the testing phase. So we have this problem with the implementation of this tool. This tool has been developed by iTown, and the solution is focused in helping retailers manage food waste throughout digital intelligence. What iTown has tried to do is to provide this tool that can support smarter ordering, identify products at risk of going to waste, and apply a dynamic pricing strategy. So this way we can try to reduce food waste while supporting profitability. The first step is a smarter ordering, and iTown's modeling analyzes historical sales data and identifies shopping habits, and considers also external factors just like weather and events that can impact demand. This can help the stores order in right quantities, and this can avoid surplus and shortage. And by planning and by orders better, we can reduce food waste and source and ensure products availability. So this is the main topics that I have been talking about. The prediction of the future product demand using this historical data can help retailers planning optimal order quantities. Why it matters? Because you can reduce surplus and food waste by ensuring products that are available based on customers' needs, and we can improve store efficiency and save costs. Once the products yes, in this point, we have four main key factors that we can be aware of, and they are right here, risk factors to consider, that are sales volatility, zero sales pattern stability, and coverage risk. What do we need to take into account? It's that when we analyze the risk across the categories like dairy fresh products, we can consider these multiple risks, and it can show us average risk plus average leftover percentage. And we also can display risk distribution, and also it can provide us price elasticity insights per category, just like it is in this image. So we try to explain in this slide how we can make the categorization and the prioritization of categories with the highest waste risk, in this case meat and bakery, for example, and specific high medium risk products, risk versus shelf life and sales volume, and also main waste drivers, just like I told in beginning, zero sales that are inconsistent sales patterns and high sales swings. So why does it matter, this kind of prediction about these products? It's that we can have with this application or this tool, we can it can help to store focus on the right categories of products, targets the key reasons behind waste, and also supports smarter, faster decisions, and we can cut waste and improve profits. At this slide, we try to explain how smart pricing works. So if you can accomplish my explanation, traditionally, stores wait until the last day to apply high discounts, for example, 50% off, just to avoid wasting unsold products. What iTown recommends is a progressive discounting strategy. For example, starting with a slight 10% of discount early on when product is still fresh, and this is not only to promote the sales of fresh products, but it also helps to avoid those aggressive 15% markdowns on salts. Less fresh items and enhancing business profits. Here we can also see this because we can see the renewal impact, the basis and the markdown that we can have with this recommendation by iTown. So we try not to give the discounts for the top of the 50%, but by scalonating from lower to higher discounts. And this we can enhance retailer profitability by balancing sales and margins, and also sells more fresh products before they reach their last day to promote freshness and earlier food. Also, what iTown tries to do with this tool, it's to make a prioritization of categories and try to give the products that are more susceptible to degradation, they try to give them with this artificial intelligence tool, the opportunity to make the cumulative improve and the risk sensitive to this kind of products in the beginning. So in summary, what does this tool pretends to do? It's to help the retailers preventing the wastes before it happens through smarter orders, identify high-risk products in time, apply smart pricing earlier to avoid heavy markdowns, and sell fresher products. In fact, what we intend with this tool, when it's possible to be applied in supermarkets, it's to improve efficiency, reduce waste, and support business profitability. So that's all. Thank you.
Laura, I think we not hear you. You are muted.
Yes, now can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but I just wanted to make the remark that Alireza from iTown, the tool developer, is also here and can answer the questions.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. So I don't know if is there any question from the audience? Otherwise, I can start with some questions. Well, I find the tool, well, very interesting, definitely. And I was wondering, first of all, how to tackle the issue of, well, the issue of lack of trust in data sharing. I was wondering if this is context dependent or is not, because you mentioned that was tested in a pilot case.
Yes.
So I'm wondering if maybe it was in Spain or in Portugal, where maybe there is more data protection concerns, while maybe in Netherlands this is not an issue. I was wondering if this could be part of the or not.
The first approach has been in Italy, because this tool it's supposed to be applied in Italy, and the tool developer doesn't have the correct answer from the supermarkets to be applied, to can apply, and almost all of them are aware about sharing not only the data, but mainly the monetary data. So Alireza, that it's the tool developer that is here present, he has tried almost all the country, but he could not get the answers. At this moment, we try to move this tool, for example, to Portugal or to Spain, to see if we can have this approach, because if you saw, we are not only applying this tool for the reduction of the waste, but also to that we need to have the monetary data to that we can
Provide the smart pricing as well.
this. Yes, so the main problem of this tool is that one, but maybe Alireza can give more information about that.
Thank you, Anna, for your great presentation, and thank you, Laura, for your question. That it was not also your question, but our concern from the beginning of the project, that we started to approach several supermarkets through several channels, from Carrefour to Coop, and we didn't limit ourselves just to Italy, and we tried to connect to a large number of supermarkets, because it was essential, not for this project, but also for every AI-driven application. The first thing that we are going to do is just to collect the data. Since we couldn't bring some retailers around the table, just fortunately, we found a source of realistic data source from Walmart supermarket across the United States of America. The data that they have shared among in a hackathon context, and we collect this data. It was around 4 data sets for around more than 1,000 SKUs for 4 years. And then since we wanted we filtered just not more than around 30 to 40 SKUs for fresh foods. We filter it for 4 years. And then we started to use the data. But just let me give you an explanation about in a real case, for example, either in Italy or Portugal or somewhere else. The first thing that we are going to do for a real supermarket, how it works, we go to the data manager and ask them just to give us the data they have stored, for example, till yesterday on their point of sale. And we get the data and we put exactly in the same application we have developed based on the data we got from Walmart, United States of America, because they are leader in the industry. And even we are still struggling just to bring some supermarkets, and we keep communicating, because especially for the dynamic pricing, if we could have a case, we had the opportunity just to monitor that, just to manipulate the prices, analyze the customers' behaviors toward the price variations, at least to calculate the realistic price elasticity. Why? I will explain you. You know, any kind of discount, Laura, costs retailers. So we should to find the items where it's worth to apply discounts. We cannot apply discounts wherever we want. For example, just let me give you a realistic example. The governments have identified that the people buy cigarettes at any cost, so they don't change it, because we don't have any price elasticity here. If you increase it from 4 euros to 7 euros, the customer keep buying. They don't care about it. But for some items, for example, let's me back to supermarket. For some items, if we decrease the price, the customers shop more. It means that we have higher price elasticity. So since we didn't have any supermarket at disposal, we didn't have the possibility just to measure the price elasticity. So that could tremendously helps us to make our system more realistic. That I'm confident that even this application can helps a lot the retailers. Once we can bring one of them on the board, on wasteless board, and engage them for at least 3 to 4 months monitoring and test case. If you have any question, I'm at disposal just to
Thank you, Alireza. Yes. No, I see also a comment that in Belgium it's also quite challenged to get the data. I understand that it's a competitive market and always economic issues. I work with life cycle costing, and for me it was super tough to get the costing information, but I was wondering if it was only context dependent or not. Just I'm gonna make a couple of comments before going to giving the floor for the Slido, which is I was wondering if you were thinking about coupling the environmental impacts, because I saw this table with the profitability. So I was wondering if also, because I think that it is quite cheap to do it, in the sense that it's easy to implement and to couple the environmental impact with the
Yes.
product. Okay, and also for communication purposes,
Also for
this
communication, yes.
helps stakeholders. And yes, and the last point, it was regarding the because I understand the confidentiality of the data, and I was wondering if instead of this tool works alone, if this can be coupled with the tools that the supermarket already uses, because of course they know already which is the price that they need to set, and they know they have this information. Maybe they are not considering so much the waste, so this is where the value added of this tool is, but not enough value added for them to be implemented straight away. So I was wondering if have you think about talking with other software providers that are well established in the market and highly used by them. So in that case, if this can act as a part of a whole that is already well established and where people trust.
Yes, Laura, thank you for your interesting question. Just even in midway, when we have reached some achievements, because in ITON we didn't just use AI. Just let me explain a bit more. Even we have consolidate AI. You know, AI is a bit blind. We have consolidated with some optimization models based on domain knowledge. You know, even every day I went to shop, I looked at the items. You know, just I got some perception in their realistic environment. Some shop here in PAM, in Aerospar, or some others, Connaught, for example, that I got the sense from the beginning. And midway, I contacted a company that was developing such a system, but I should say raising around $3 million just dynamic pricing. Let me just explain about the real dimension. Yes, and even Laura, they have developed some modules that physically can connect a pricing algorithm to some hardwares that can change the prices on e-link labels on items. So even we open some conversation with them to bring, I should say, to develop a business collaboration together. But both of us were looking for just to find this to a customer case for them, at least, just for us, research for them as a client. And even for that event, we communicated a lot to the COP Geneva, but it was not successful. It was kind of a close, a very confidential business circle. But still, as I told you, it's very interesting for us just looking as a future and potential business case for us, not just a research.
Okay, thank you, Alireza, because we need to move ahead with the program. So I'm gonna leave the floor to Sophia. She has some slides, so we can also get more interaction. And
Thank you very much, Laura. So, as previous sessions, this is a new Slido. You need to scan the QR code or go to slido.com and write the code. And now that you are very used to this, you will be quick, and we are a bit late. So, how would you rate the innovation level of this tool? 1 from the similar to the existing conventional tools, 2 goes behind the state of the art. I'm expecting a little bit more engagement till as we have till now, 20, 24. Okay, 17. And the first question, you always take more time, but I need to move on. So which actors could benefit the most by applying this tool? And 17. Okay, we already have 19 engaged people, 20. Great, thank you very much. So, and I think I will move on now. And food business operators, yes, for sure. And what would be the main barriers to implement this tool in its target sectors? It is a written text question, answer. I will give you a bit more time. Yeah. Yes, all about what we have discussed. Okay, I'm going to move on. There's still a participant typing. I think the answers are getting to the same points. So I will move on to the next question. What type of support would be most useful for the target users to implement this tool? Okay, 20 participants already answered. I will move on to the next question. How would you rate the scalability of this tool within its target sector? From 1, not scalable at all, to 5, easily scalable. Okay, I think there's no other answers. Is there any other part of the food supply chain where do you see this tool being applicable rather than the retailers? Okay. And what improvements or adaptations would you suggest for this tool? And this is the last question. I can leave it, we are on time, Luminita, I can leave it open as we did before. People can
Yeah, but we can
write.
still wait 2 minutes. I think it's fine if we wait 2 minutes.
Okay.
Um,
Just to see some answers here.
yeah. I think now you can leave
Yes.
this
There are
running.
7 participants typing. Yes, I will leave it
Yes.
running. Continue typing. I will not close.
Yeah, thank you very much, Laura, for your contribution to our event. And now I give the floor for the next session to Attila Kunsabo, a research fellow at the University of Veterinary Medicine in Budapest, which focuses his research on food waste measurement at consumer level. So please, Attila.
Thank you very much, Luminita. It's my pleasure to announce the next session, which will be about surplus stock measurement and management tool, which enables food chain retailers to identify the food waste at source and plan their procurement and operational processes to eliminate food waste by measuring it. So we are very much looking forward to the insights provided by Professor Anna Novodebaros. And we also would like to encourage everyone to ask questions and contribute later on. Anna, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Attila. I think that we all can gain some time with this tool because it takes less time, my presentation. It is okay in presentation mode?
Yes, it is. We can see it.
Okay, thank you. So this is the tool about surplus measurement and management tool applied for 3 case studies for food industry, and the end users were fruit and veggies, pasta, olive oil, tomato and fruit, bakery, curd, meat and dairy, and canned and vegetables. For retailers and the end users, local and big supermarkets, and for food services, the end users, school and workplace canteens, and or street catering and university cafeteria or canteens. So this tool has been developed by FASLA, and it identifies the waste generation at source, and it is to recover the surplus and waste with the highest potential value and to plan their procurement and operational processes to eliminate it. So the purpose of the tool is that when the data on waste generated by the food sector stakeholders, such as, for example, food supply chain, food service, food retailers, or food industry, they are entered in the tool. The tool makes the analysis of them and within just seconds provides a recommended action to recover surplus and create value. So we have here two print screens of the application of the tool, and with detailed product level data entry, it can provide the recommendation. It is based on the food recover hierarchy. It means that we are going to apply this recommendation, that is food recovery hierarchy, to maximize environmental, social, and financial impact. More than 140 waste data entries have been entered into this tool and have been analyzed, and the recommended actions from the FASLA application are donate, recycle, animal feed, and resell. The surplus tool enhances precision by enabling detailed SKU level inputs, and it includes not only weight but also includes nutritional value, what is different from the other tools that I have presented. So this is really important, this topic about nutritional value. This tool optimally presents waste recovery recommendations using decision trees. And then I move for the video presentation from these partners.
As a part of Wasteless, we, FLW, are developing the surplus stock measurement and management tool that guides its users recover waste with the highest potential value based on the principles recommended by the Food Recovery Hierarchy designed by the United States Environmental Protection Agency. The surplus stock measurement and management tool requires its users to provide product-based information while creating a new SKU. The product-based information includes the product's barcode, its name, its unique number, the category of the product, the type of last consumption date, quantity unit, content metric unit quantity, whether the product is packaged or not, its nutritional values, and its ingredients. After the SKU is generated, the tool asks to add surplus by its users. By selecting the SKU created, its quantity, its last consumption date, surplus generation reason, and surplus generation point, the tool starts analyzing to provide a recommended action that recovers the product with the highest potential value. Within a few seconds of analyzing, the recommended action will appear on the surplus items page. In this case, the AI-based recommended action is animal feed production.
So we can observe that in this tool we have a recommendation action, and based on the amount and nature of the waste, we can have different recommendations, just like we saw for animal feed or recycling or other options. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anna, for the presentation. I would like to ask the audience whether they have any questions. If so, please don't hesitate to put your microphone on or text your question directly in the chat so we can answer. I might wait a few seconds, or you can also raise your hand. But yeah, we already have a question from Laura Green. Are donations to food banks included within the decision tree?
Well,
sorry, Anna. I think currently we don't have anyone representing FASLA, so maybe you could respond these questions.
In fact, I'm not sure, Attila, because I'm not sure about if the food banks are included in decision, but we can after answer to Laura asking the tool developers from the FASLA. Sorry, but I really am not sure.
Okay. Yes. So we can also forward to your messages directly to the tool developers, FASLA, who unfortunately couldn't join today.
Yes, but I can answer to the other question.
Okay. Okay, please.
If it is compatible with the inventory management system, at this moment, the data are entered manually, but we are trying to improve the tool. But yes, we are going to improve to inventory management. Does the tool recommend third parties where retailers can send their surplus? At this moment, no. For example, if the recommended action is animal feed, does it show you where nearby you can do this? No. The tool is developed to be applied in the all countries that are involved in this project. So at the moment, it doesn't give this information, but we hope that we have still 6 months of project. So we hope that we can improve this part and have also this information. Is there some sort of market mechanism included in the tool, or would this be done amongst? Yes, it is to be done amongst actors, but I think that I'm not sure if I understood the question. If you can please explain what is the question. Bramva de Glind, sorry, but I could not understand.
Yes, maybe you can also.
I can maybe. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
please.
Yeah, I was just wondering if the recommended action is, for example, that it would become animal feed. Can like actors interact in this tool, or is it just a recommendation that then the company that has the surplus needs to act itself?
Thank you. It's almost the same thing that I have already explained, because at this moment we just make the recommendation to use for that purpose, but we hope that until the end of the project we can have other actors participating, and then we can give them the recommendation, but the other actors can also be involved in this tool. Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Does nutritional value influence decision, or it is just used to report nutritional value divert from waste? No, it influences for sure the decision, because if it has some important nutritional value, for example, we can make the recommendation or advice for make recycling of that waste, and with that we can use for in other work package that we have in the project, that is the recycling and recovering of the waste to develop new food products or to be used in another industries, for example, for cosmetic and for pharmaceutical industry. So this nutritional value, it's really important to that we can give the recommendation, but also is used also for us for our report, because it's different from the other tools that we have in other projects that are used to reduce waste, that don't make this parameter, don't get this parameter about the nutritional value. Thank you.
Okay, is there any other questions? If not, maybe I can pass the word to Sofia if you think it's time to start the Slido.
Okay, so let's start the other Slido. Again, a new Slido. You need to scan the QR code or go to slido.com and write the code. And please start to rate the innovation level of this tool from 1 to similar to existing conventional tools to 5 that goes beyond the state of art. Please, we really appreciate your engagement in this Slido poll. We already had in the other ones 25 people engaged. We have now only 14, 15. It seems that this is the one with highest innovation level from the ones presented so far. But maybe there are others who say the same or different things. Okay, nobody is engaging, so I will move on. Which actors could benefit the most by applying this tool? I will wait at least for the 15 people already engaged. If we have more, even better. Okay, we reached 16, 17. Thank you. There's no more, so let's move on. What would be the main barriers to implement this tool in its target sectors? And I will give you a little bit more time to write. Still have one participant typing, 2. Okay, so okay, so the points are coming from us being the same and 16 engaged people. I have to move on. 17. There's still one participant, but I think we didn't have more. So I have to move on, sorry. Okay. 18. Thank you. I wait for you, please. What type of support would be most useful for the target users to implement this tool? Okay, 18 participants already typed. Thank you very much. And how would you rate the scalability of this tool within its target sector? From 1 not scalable at all to 5 easily scalable. Okay. We already have one more participant. Thank you. And is there any other part of the food supply chain where do you see this tool being applicable? Okay, 19 participants. And our last question, what improvements or adaptations would you suggest for this tool? Dominika and Attila, we have a
Yes.
lot of answers now. If you want to proceed, I can leave it running as I did
Yes.
before, and the ones that are typing, they still have time to type.
Perfect. Thank you, Sophia, and thank you very much, Attila. So now please stay with us for the last session. We have one more tool, a lot of work done in the Wasteless project. So the last tool, the session will be moderated by Thomas Kandel, project manager at the International Food Waste Coalition, with focus of his work on the food waste through the food services value chain. So Thomas, thank you very much. you can start. And I want just to make a comment now that the tool developer is also here with us. So in the Q&A session, he can answer the questions that you may have.
Thank you, Luminata. Hello all, and thank you very much for joining the workshop and event to try to understand how the different outcomes of wasteless and tools developed can be further used and drive impact to reduce food loss and waste. So this is the last session, so please stay with us. It's about presenting a tool to address a key issue of the fight against food waste, which is how do we manage to help households to reduce their food waste at home. So let Anna present the tool, and then we'll come back to have some questions around how to make the most of this tool. Anna, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Thomas. I will share my screen. Is it okay? Can I start?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, thank you. So this is the last tool that I'm going to present. It's automatic system for household food waste assessment. And as we all know, consumers are the ones that waste more than all the other sectors. So this household automatic system for food waste assessment has this aspect that is here in the picture from the left side, and you can observe that we have a balance, and here we have a mobile phone. So what we need to do is to put the waste into the box and place the box on the scale and the phone on the stand, put the waste on the box and click next and take the picture or photo, make the categorization and send data, and then it's connected, all the things. I will explain better when I have that in the next slide. So the methodology combines smart kitchen scales, a dedicated mobile application, and a web-based portal so that it can automatically record the weight, type, avoidability, and disposal method of food waste. Each entry is going to include a photo as visual evidence, enhancing data credibility. So it is the representative sampling and experimental approach, and the scales should distribute to representative sample of households who record their food waste daily over 1 week period. It's not moving on. Okay, the data is analyzed and then we make the extrapolation of the results. The methodology supports analysis of avoidable waste, disposal practices, and estimated energy loss, and also helps to inform policy actions to reduce food waste. So the wasteless scale is composed by sensor measurements. It has the AD conversion, it has a microcontroller, it has the mobile application, and the database after. So we have to select the language, connect the scale, we can view the history of the determinations that we have already done, place the plate, weight, tear and food, make the categorization, because in this application we performed the food matrices by categorizations, by category, sorry, and we add details and send it to be treated. So here you have an example how the application of the mobile acts. So here is the first, and here we make the connect to the scale. After we can see and observe the historical data, but we can make our own name and data that we want to present, and here it's the weight, and then we can put if it is avoidable or not avoidable, and then here you can observe that we have the categories. Okay, for example, fruits and inedible fruit and vegetable parts, for example, banana peels, orange peels, apple cores, etc. Then we take the picture with the mobile phone, and after that it stays in our historical data from database. Then we have this scale portal that you can observe in the figure. I don't know if it's perceptible, but it makes the automatic system with the treatment of the results. What it means that in here, it's going to be made the data management, database for collection, survey manager, it means that one person from each country prepare a section, period of measuring sections, user and scales, and data can be exported from the database for further analysis. We have supporting material, so we have the user manual in different languages, and we have the consent form to each of the consumer that it's going to apply, this can attend. And also we have a promotional video that in this tool I didn't put in my presentation because I think that I really don't have time for that, but then if you want, you can see it in our web page. So this household automatic system has been applied with participants from different countries in Portugal, Slovenia, Estonia, and Hungary. We have developed, in this case, Dejan, that is here present, has developed 45 scales that are available, and you can observe that in some countries they have just applied in one campaign, and in other countries have been applied in 2 campaigns. For example, Estonia and Hungary just for 1 campaign, and in Portugal and Slovenia for 2 campaigns. And this has the number of sections that have been applied for each campaign. Here we have the results that have been obtained, and I need to take this from my scene, okay, and we have 2 kinds of answers: true if it is avoidable food, and false if it is not avoidable or unavoidable food. So you can observe here that we have different behaviors about the waste of avoidable or unavoidable, and we can see that also for the countries that have applied more than 1 campaign. For example, for Portugal, we have different behaviors. In the case of Estonia, for example, we have more avoidable more avoidable wastes than unavoidable, but in Hungary it's the opposite. In the case of Portugal and in the case of we have also different behavior from the first and the second campaign, and in Slovenia it is the same behavior from the 2 campaigns, but different amounts because different number of users have been performed. And here we have the total weight by avoidable field and each campaign per user. So when we make the analysis by the household size, what we can observe is that we don't have similar behavior between the household sizes. It means that if you see here, for example, in the household with 1 or 2 persons, we have almost the same percentage from avoidable and not avoidable. But when we go, for example, for households with more than 5 persons, it means that we have much more from unavoidable than from avoidable. So what we can conclude from this analysis is that in small houses with 1 or 2 people, we have almost the same percentage from avoidable and not avoidable. It's a balanced waste composition. With the medium household size, it means 3 or 4 people, we have more avoidable than unavoidable. It's highest percentage of avoidable. So the key target group for waste prevention, we think that must be here, and large household size, more than 5 people, we have lower avoidable wastes, possibly due to better food planning. Here we have the case study, the weights by categories, and we can see that we have a biggest this stack in fruits and vegetables, and then the disposal route of the waste, and we can see that is bio waste bin followed by mixed waste, the ones that are on top. So the summary of the user feedback from this balance, positive user experience, most participants found the smart scale and the application intuitive and easy to use. The tool increased the awareness of food waste habits and encouraged some users to reduce waste and plan meals more carefully. Some users made early mistakes in weighting the categorization. Meals eaten outside the home reduced the representativeness of data, and for suggestions of improvement, the participants recommended battery powder operation and access to personal in-depth statistical after the study. So this tool allows us not only to weigh the food waste by type, categorize it by type, but also avoidable food waste insights on a reduction potential. It allows us to make the estimation of wasted energy, disposal of food waste methods used by users, and also allows us to support for decision makers actions to improve habits. That's all. Thank you. Sorry for the time that I have surpassed.
The time was perfect, Anna, no worries.
Sorry.
It's fine. And so we welcome all the questions about the tool. We remind you that the institute, the Joseph Stefan Institute, who developed the tool, is also there to answer the questions. So please don't hesitate. I'm quickly checking in the chat if there are already some questions about the tool.
There is one, if it is possible to distinguish between edible and no edible waste. Dejan, if you can, please.
Okay. First, I would like to greet everyone and thanks for the presentation and listening to this presentation about our tool. So the moment the application is done in a way that supports user to report what kind of food is wasted, and he is the one who is deciding if the food wasted is edible or non-edible. We take also the photos of the food but mostly only for the verification purposes, and later on studies might also be done in this to support development of automatic recognition if what kind of food is, if it's inedible or edible, and also to automatically categorize the food. But this is still in further plans.
Yeah, I think it's a quite important question to also know if the perception of whether the food waste was avoidable or not avoidable by the household might influence the results of the measurement. So I guess these are research linked to the sensibility of each household about this topic, and also maybe to in the methodology to describe if there is a difference between edible and inedible, or avoidable and unavoidable, so that people are really clear about that.
Yes, but we have the manual from usage. Yes.
Yeah, we have we have provided to each household, the manual was provided, but also within the application all the important information is given to the user. So whenever it comes to decide if it's edible, inedible, it has a short description of what this keeps.
Yeah.
But also what I forgot to mention before, for the after the campaign is was over, for these studies which we made within the Wasteless project, we made a briefly check of critical measurements and make some well, we could see if from the photos if someone made a mistake, and fix this data if, or remove if there was too much non-usable data.
And just so the manual for using the tools, it will say to users whether, for example, like tomato peels should be considered avoidable or not avoidable when they register their food waste.
We have
not specifically for tomato.
Yeah,
Yes.
not for tomato, no.
Not specifically, but it says what is the pill that it's not avoidable or it is not. See, it doesn't explain for each food matrices, but it explains the general concept. So at the moment, we didn't have any problem with this and not any problem with the categorization. The mainly problem at the beginning, it was the usage of the mobile phone and the connection of all of the things. And also, Dejan didn't told, but this is prepared for iPhone, and at the beginning, in the first essay that we have performed, we didn't have enough people with the iPhone to make this analysis. So all the things are in the manual user, and he has all the information. And we didn't say here because we really didn't have time, but we try to use this with the explanation from our side. For example, it's used in Portugal. We have the colleagues in Portugal that when the consumer gets the balance, all the explanation is given to that we can avoid the mistakes that maybe the consumer can use. Okay.
The instructions were given local. But also what I would like to mention, when designing this application, we didn't want to burden the user too much. So we tried to make it as simple as possible and to get as much and as good data as possible.
Yeah, and the feedback seemed to be quite good in terms of how users perceive the tool, if it was
Yes.
user-friendly or not. So that's, yeah, it seems to be good job done. And about the unity of measurement, um, I've seen studies measuring food waste at household level in kilograms, but actually, if we don't take the count of the number of person eating at home daily, at the end, if there are many meals that are taken out of home, that might impact how we analyze the results of the diagnosis of the quantity of food waste for one household. How do you take that into account, or do you think it's future work to be done?
I think this would be measured by the another applications. So we have also tested this tool set in the canteens. So I think also in the canteen they can measure the waste, and when we see it globally, all this information combined can give us quite a good picture of what was wasted and lost. So if this would be if the waste would be measured also in the restaurants, or sampled and estimated what is wasted in the restaurants, and in the national level this would be combined with what was lost in household, then we would get sufficient information.
That would imply very consistent figures to be able to know, depending on the food waste measured in restaurants, what is the number of meals taken by households. But I think like on the more micro level.
But also at the end to mention the case studies which we performed between Wasteless project, we have choose sample in order to verify our tool set and the method. We have not put too much attention on how this sample is representative to the whole country or something. I think for this it would be needed much more effort to engage institutions which are perform of official measurement of food waste in national levels.
And I have one. I don't know if it's a question or a comment, but I'm reading it. So it's from Anne Brickveld, and big risk on overestimation or underestimation of food waste depending on the type of users. What users want to show on the plate, and how you choose a representative sample of users. People who waste most food waste are not willing to measure. Yeah, that's linked to what you've just said.
Yes, but this is interesting question, because for sure the family context and the culture is really important, and just like Anne is telling, the people waste most food waste are not willing to measure. They don't want to start this assay, but after testing, and this is something that I didn't tell because it was not related with this presentation, but we have another work package that it's going to make the analysis of the data also that we get from this balance usage, and not only the categorization avoidable and not avoidable, but from the pictures and the amount of each category of food, we are also going to make in our package for the nutritional waste and functional waste. It means that the people will know that they have wasted, for example, 100 grams, for example, but they will know that 20% were proteins, and 10% were phenolic compounds. And one is from nutritional value, and another one is from functional value. And to answer to an question, our our sample, it's from different kinds of families. So we have different kinds of users, and these kind of users, they are of different cultural, different family context, different economic stage, and we try to have the sample as big as we can, but also not homogeneous, because if we have an homogeneous sample, we are going to have something just like we are expecting. So we try to get heterogeneity in our sample.
Thank you all for the question. I suppose it is time for the Slido session.
Yes, Thomas, it is.
Yes,
We are on
okay.
time. So I can share my screen. And this is a new Slido session, a different QR code, and a different code to be used. Please. The first question is, how would you rate the innovation level of this tool? From 1 similar to existing conventional tools, or to 5 that goes beyond the state of the art? Good, we don't. Okay, 15 participants. Do we have anything else? Anyone else? Don't think so. So let's move on to the next one. Which actors could benefit the most by applying this tool, other than the consumers? This was made for consumers, so "16 participants." 18. Thank you very much. So let's move on to the next one. What would be the main barriers to implement this tool in its target sectors? Okay, and participants already answered at least once. So 19. But I need to move on to the next one. Let's see if we reduce the participants typing. Okay, I think it's the same participants. Let's move on to the next question. What type of support would be most useful for the target users to implement this tool? What happened to the 18 and to the 19? I think they don't want to answer. Let's move 18. Okay, let's move to the other one. How would you rate the scalability of this tool within its target sector? From 1, not scalable at all, to 5, easily scalable. Okay. Opinions diverge here a lot. 19 participants already answered.
It's a normal distribution.
Is there any other parts of the food supply chain where do you see this tool being applicable rather than the households? Okay, food services. And for the last question, and I will give you some time to think and to write, what improvements or adaptations would you suggest for this tool? Okay, I think there are still participants typing. I already gave 2 minutes. I can leave it open for them to type.
Okay, I think it's
And you
fine.
can move
We are
on
also
the
in time.
session.
Yes.
Yes.
We are also in time. Thank you very much for all of you to stay with us until now. I will give shortly the word to Attila to close the event. Attila, please.
Thank you very much, Luminita. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I will try to be brief so that everyone can go to have lunch a bit earlier. So thank you very much for all your attendance on this public event related to the Horizon Project Wasteless. Titled Value Proposition, Technology Adaptation and Implementation of Food Loss and Waste Measurement Tools, which is linked to Task 2.6 of the project, of which the University of Veterinary Medicine Budapest is the leader partner. So we generally could see 5 different food loss and waste measurement tools that were developed within the Wasteless projects. And then we could see that many of them are, some of them are still in an early stage, some of them are more developed, and we could identify several limitations together, such as the need to involve and interact more actors, the need for capacity building, especially in terms of the IT capacities, also the practical implementation in real life scenarios of the tools, and also the engagement of food business operators and consumers as well. We also identified confidential issues and the data protection issues that we encountered during the project many times when we implemented our pilot case studies, and of course the financial investment needs that these tools require for higher scale implementation. So it was a very, we could gather very valuable insights, and the general objective of this event was to identify these shortcomings so that we can further, so that we can learn from these and that we can further improve the tools with which I believe we can contribute to building harmonized food waste measurement frameworks, and therefore support the efforts made by the European Commission and also the member states in mandatory food waste measurement and reporting exercises, and also in national food waste reduction strategies. I would like to highlight that during the development of our tools and methodologies, we relied heavily on previous initiatives and flagship projects, results, and definitional frameworks, such as the Fusions, Refresh, the JRC, or the EU Platform on Food Losses and Food Waste, which are the main building blocks for food waste measurement and reduction. And these activities, I believe, would not be could not be realized without these funding frameworks, such as the Horizon or also the Single Market program. So we really appreciate that these funding schemes are available. And I would like to thank to the contribution and attendance for all the audiences. I would like to thank especially for Luminitia Ciolacu and Sofia Reis for organizing this public event from Iseki Food Association. Also, I would like to express our gratitude to the moderators, Mauricio Notarfonso, Sofia Reis, Laura Garcia Herrero, and Toma Candeal for contributing to each of the sessions. And I would like to also thank for the contribution of the tool developers in the Wasteless project. And last but not least, a special thank to Professor Anna Novo-de-Barros, coordinator of this project, who made huge efforts to prepare for this event, even though she is the coordinator of this project. She is not dealing with all the tools on a daily basis, so she has been preparing for this event for a long time, and I could see very insightful presentations. Thank you very much, Anna, again. And I would like to ask you whether you want to, before me or Luminita officially closes the event, would you like to say something?
Yes, Attila, thank you. First, I would like to acknowledge all the people that has attended to this event. Thanks Luminita and Sofia for preparing, Attila for this effort of all this. This was really challenging, but I think that we learned a lot with this event because the feedback that we got today let us improve the application of the tools, and we still have time to make the implementation of the tools in the case studies. So maybe some of the questions that have or comments that we received, I'm sure that they are an alert for us for the evaluation of the experts of the tools, because I think that here we have very good comments, and the questions made us thinking about what we in fact it's important or it's not important, and what we can improve. So from my side, that's all. It was very challenging, but I'm really happy with this event because I think that it's really important for our project, and I think that that's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anna. As Attila said, and you, I will also like, on behalf of Iseki Food Association, me and Sophia, to thank you, to thank all of you for your contribution. We learn from you, and we are happy that you have joined our event and you have shared with us your insights. And to close, I will say that we have seen today that a lot has been done, but more is left to be done in the future. So thank you very much, and wishing you a nice day, and please stay connected with the Wasteless project.